Hey folks, how you doing today? So I had an interesting question come up today. I was meeting with a seller client and the question came up, what exactly is closing cost assistance and why should I care? And what happened was we were talking about in the listing agreement, it says how much closing cost assistance are you offering as part of your listing? And for the most cases, most people just put zero. And so I said, hey, we're just going to line that out. You're going to offer zero, but you might decide to negotiate that later. You might actually like the other terms. And we said, well, what is closing cost assistance? And that is a really good question. The way that works is when a buyer comes to buy your home, they're going to come up and they're going to have a certain amount of closing costs, money that they have to bring to the table in order to get to closing. An example might be on a $300,000 purchase, a $300,000 home. With a VA loan, no money down, their closing costs, where they have to write a check at closing, is somewhere probably between $5,000 and $7,000. Now, obviously, if you put $1,000 down on an earnest money that is applied to that closing cost. So in that case, it would be 4 to 6,000. But in general, total dollar amounts, we're looking at $5,000 to $7,000 needed at closing for a $300,000 purchase. That's quite a bit of money. And not everybody has that just sitting around. Even a VA loan with no money down, you just might not have that money sitting around. Well, one thing that a buyer might do is say, "Hey, I'm going to be offering to purchase this $300,000 home. I would like 2% closing cost assistance. 2% of 300,000 is $6,000. Hey, look at that. Well, some interesting things there. There are certain things that that closing cost assistance can be applied to and cannot, and that's going to be determined by the lender. Now, important thing is there's some differentiation between VA loans, FHA loans, and conventional loans, and what can be approved and what cannot. And so I'm actually going to go to the screen here because I want to make sure that I get it right. But so let's take a look here. Say, hey, who is it that is going to be paying the closing costs? Now, the when it comes to a VA loan, there are certain things that that the buyer may not buy. So a VA loan brought by the buyer may not pay for commissions for real estate professionals, brokerage fees, buyer broker fees, or the termite moisture report. Interesting little nuance there, right? And so now on the other hand, there's a whole list of stuff that can be negotiated. So in this case, those things in the past, that those four things I just listed, we can't use closing cost assistance to pay for those, but we typically can use closing cost assistance to pay for the following: the VA funding fee, loan origination fee, loan discount points, credit report, VA appraisal fee, hazard insurance, real estate taxes, state and local taxes, title insurance, recording fees, things like that. Now, that let's talk about that loan origination or the VA funding fee. The VA funding fee, it can be significant. And for a first use, no money down VA loan, your VA funding fee is 2.3%. So on that $300,000 home, that's $6,900. Now you can roll all of that into the loan, and that's great, but not everything can get rolled into it. And so, like that 6,900 bucks, that's great. You still need five to $7,000 to write in a check to cover recording fees and appraisal and taxes and more taxes and a lawyer fee and things like that. So there is still certainly some money that's going to be needed to be brought to closing. So point of this was, what was the question? What exactly are closing costs assistance and why do I care? And the answer is that is when the buyer comes in and says, "Hey, I would like to buy this home. My offer is $300,000 and I would like to get 2% in closing cost assistance." So the seller would receive $300,000 and then kick $6,000 right back to the buyer for them to use to get to the closing table. Just comes out of their pocket. That's what closing cost assistance is. All right. So there we are. If you have any further questions on that, please give me a call. Talk soon.